Hello, welcome to my quest. A quest to play through as much as my PSNProfiles list as humanly possible and achieve a glorious 80% or higher overall, as well as those coveted platinums. I'm still new to this whole spiel, so be kind when I absolutely make a fool out of myself. Enjoy! I have 3 games up for you today because I tried to start with some short ones first to ease me into it. So, full disclosure, I didn't fully know how PlayStation captures worked at this point, so I don't have as much footage as I tried to get because half the time a trophy pops, it ends the recording. No idea if that's supposed to happen, but oh well. So I have footage of me trying to get my first trophy of the challenge. It also messed up and made trophy pop captures not work either, so don't have a lot for these first few games. I tried to go top down with this game as it's all just mini games, so there's no real linear way to do it. I initially got this game to play with my partner, but we didn't end up liking it much, so I barely played it. It was all the way at the bottom of my PSNProfiles list, so I figured I'd start with it. This game is called Sports Friends. First trophy called Got on Top for getting 1,000 wins on Get on Top. So I tied a bubble around my right stick and went to make food. It took 40 minutes, but it finally bobbed. Next trophy was Backer Friends Forever, which is basically making it through a credits-like sequence you can enter from the menu. Then I realised there were a few trophies for changing date or time, so I tried to do all of them one after the other. First for playing Super Pole Riders on Boxing Day, then starting a game of GS Joust on every day of the week, then playing as Brazil on Hokra on July 10th. I had 2 more trophies to get for Super Pole Riders. The first one required me unlocking a new map by having a second controller throw me over a wall, which took longer than I like to admit. So I had to play a game on that new map, and that was that trophy done. The next one was to win a game with a luck handicap, which probably would have been difficult if someone else was using the second controller. The next game to get some trophies for was Joust, which I really only had to play 1 game for. One trophy was to unlock the secret menu, and then the second one was to start a game with a secret music option, which was just for inputting a specific password to unlock Bach. The Hokra trophies were more difficult than they sounded, but it was just about setting it up right. One was to pass the ball straight from corner to corner on a specific map, and the other was to win a match while taunting for 50% of it. The final game was Barry Barry Ball, which actually frustrated me immensely. The first one was to stay in the air for 30 seconds, which required a specific map as well as adjusting settings to add more jumps so I could stay in the air longer. Even with these challenges, it took many tries, but I finally got it and I was so relieved. The next trophy was entirely RNG based because I had to play a match on a specific map, but it isn't one that can be chosen. It can only come up on the random select, but that was just a quit and click a few times and it worked. The final trophy took a few tries, but I honestly didn't really know how to actually do it. I had to have the 2 players clash into each other 5 times in a row in a quick succession. After I finally figured it out, I did it first try, and that was the first 100% of this challenge completed. It took about 2.5 hours overall to complete 14 trophies. It was a fun little game to complete. I'd say it was about a 2 out of 10 difficulty, based purely on the minor skill-based trophies, like Airborne. So that was 1 game down. Over 300 to go. On to another minigame-centric game. They're not all going to be like this, I promise. I just wanted to get some of the simpler ones out the way first. This one is, yeah, you want those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. 2. Now these are games everybody has seen on mobile ads. I am quite ashamed to admit I did pay for this game, but I buy weird shit, alright? Leave me alone. There are 5 minigames in total, each one of them has a different amount of levels. Each minigame has 2 trophies attached to it, one for completing all the stages and another for completing all the stages with 3-star ratings. The first one was Knockback Shooter, which is just about taking all your enemies down with as little shots as possible. As it gets later, you have to shoot the enemies without hurting the pink one, which added a little difficulty, but overall wasn't that difficult to pop both trophies on. The next one being Pinball was getting one thing, whether it be coins, water, or fire, into the thing at the bottom. The later it got, they introduced the mechanic of using the water and fire to make rocks to push buttons down, or to use water to stop fire from ruining the coins, and certain pins made other things happen, so they had to be done fast. Then came Numbers Dungeon, which is just maths, and trying to get bigger numbers to progress and kill the monsters you come up against. It wasn't until the last few levels I started to really struggle and ended up using a guide. It's allowed, I have rules, don't worry. But we got there after about an hour of doing the same 5 levels. Next up, Spellbinding Scroll, which I basically breezed through the whole thing except the last level. Just looking at this, you know what kind of game it's trying to be. Everything was relatively easy, bar a few mishaps, all except that last level. While I could finish it, I couldn't get that 3 stars because I needed to have above a certain number to get it. But I kept missing important gates to squeak me over that edge because I had to move very fast to get them. So I got the first trophy to complete all the levels and decided to take a break from it to continue the game. So I swiftly moved on to Draw and Guard, which was about protecting the cats from the bats using drawable lines. Which again, similar to the previous one, I breezed through most of it bar a few mishaps, but completed both trophies quicker than I did the other games. I moved back over to the last level of Spellbinding Scroll to try it again, and lo and behold, within 15 minutes after the break I took, I had it done. Sometimes taking a break makes tasks get done quicker. So that was all minigame levels completed to 3 stars. It has taken me 10 hours to achieve 10 trophies. At the end of it all, I rated it about 4.5 out of 10, because some of the trophies being entirely skill and speed based, and I'm not good at that. The third and final game in this video was Somerville, which, if I'm honest, I don't really have much to say about it, other than I really enjoyed this little story game. Most of the trophies are story based, with 3 of them being different endings that don't require previous choices to complete, so I could just reload a save to get each of them. There was one collectible trophy where only a few of them were missable, but I mostly just wanted to enjoy the game, so I was glad when I found out the trophies were simple and spaced out and that there wasn't really that many of them. The ending trophies were based on button presses when faced up against the alien-like monoliths talking to you. Now, the game doesn't tell you how to get 2 of these endings, so I did have to look them up, and they were longer combinations but simple enough. Only took a few tries to get right because I kept reading it wrong and restarted because I'm dumb. I really enjoyed it and I was invested in the short story. Overall, it took 4.5 hours to complete all 11 trophies, and PSNProfiles rated it a 2 out of 10, which sounds about right, but considering other 2 out of 10s, I'd say it's a bit easier than that, but I also know what 1 out of 10 rated games are like. So with 3 games down, I realised the worst is yet to come, and I have a hard time committing to things, but this is something I really want to get done and have fun with in the process, so I hope I can stick it out and get it done. I hope you'll bear with me and be patient as I struggle through this, but I could use some company on this ride if you want to stick around. I'll hopefully see you again soon. See you later, friends.